Hello, beautiful, and welcome back. Today's episode is going to cover the 5th and 6th acts of the Pluto in Aquarius series. There will be one more video coming after this to talk about integration, but right now we're going to cover the 5th and 6th acts. And this, as you know, is a reflection of my own birth chart and how Pluto in Aquarius is impacting my own natal birth chart. And so this transit, how it's affecting that, as well as just a story arc of transformation and what that really looks like on the inside when we start going through the process of transformation and whatever that looks like for any one of us. I'm Jamie Ehrenberg with Idlewild Retreats, and this is my journey of following my intuition and becoming my truest self. Act 5 and Act 6. I'm going to cover the dates first and talk to you a little bit more about how this might show up in your own birth chart. So, Pluto at 1 degree Aquarius, Act 5 in my vernacular. It is August 20th of 2025 to October 14th, 2025, and that was when Pluto was in retrograde again. And then October 14th to December 5th are going forward again. I'll dive more into those acts and that retrograde as well as the forward motion of Pluto and Aquarius, but I want to talk a little bit again about how this is affecting my chart and how it might be affecting yours. So this is a long transit. Pluto and Aquarius, or Pluto's transits are typically about 20 years long. Pluto in Aquarius will be that. We started in 2023 and now we're at the end of 2025. And while that might seem like it's been a long time, because it sort of has, it's been 2.5 years, we're not done yet. And we're going to be experiencing 17 more years of Pluto in Aquarius. And for our collective, all of us as humans on this earth and this planet, that is going to, we're still only at the beginning of the shifts that we're going to see. However, if you have any planets in your personal birth chart in fixed signs, so that would be Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Leo, you're going to have more direct implications in your own chart with this transit, depending on what degrees in each of those signs those planets are in. If you're in Aquarius, if you have planets in Aquarius, it'll be an exact conjunction that you'll experience. If you have planets in Scorpio or Taurus, that'll be a square. And if you have planets in Leo, that'll be an opposition. And as a reminder, for my own personal birth chart, at 1 degree Aquarius, I have my Sun and my Venus. I have my Chiron in Taurus at 1 degree, and then I have my Mars at 1 degree Leo. So I have all of those aspects that show up in my own chart, and I'm going to share a little bit more about how those all have come to pass in these last 2 acts where we're having that exact experience. Many astrologers, I do want to say, believe that in the outer planets, it's the exact conjunctions that, or aspects that we're looking for. So it'll be the 1 degree, or that's for me specifically. But if you have planets at 5 degrees Aquarius or Scorpio or Taurus or Leo, waiting till we actually get to that degree will be when you're really going to feel that the most. And because Pluto will go forward and backwards, just like I had so many experiences with this exact transit, you'll have time to work with that in your birth chart. And hopefully this video is helping you kind of open your eyes and open your body and your heart and your spirit and your energy to what might come through during this time where we have this planet of transformation meeting this how do you step into your full unique self that is possibly going to be rebellion and then shifting so much in the future. It's a fun transit and planet to be working with. And I would love to hear below if you have, or how this shows up. I know at least one person has shared that with me in comments in previous episodes, and I'd love to hear more if you know how to find all that information. If not, you can send a comment below and we can talk a little bit more about that too. And I do offer support for reading your birth chart, as well as how these transits are affecting your birth chart and when specifically that'll be hitting. So if you need any of that support, just follow the links below and I can offer that for you. Act 5, August to October of 2025. This period, although it's certainly overlapped with other experiences, Uranus moved into Gemini during this time, and then so there is other things going on. Jupiter also moved into Cancer just before this. Everything can't totally be attributed to just one transit. We always, whatever's happening in the sky, there's so many things coming together all of the time. But for me, what I really started to experience with the reminder that the sun is your identity and how you and people perceive each other, because rising sign is often how you're perceived by others. Venus is value, love, relationships. Mars is action and being seen. And Chiron is your deepest wounds. During this time, especially in that retrograde, more things were being unearthed to bring to the surface. And I always think it's beautiful, especially if we have the awareness and the tools to know what to do with what's coming in. I will say every single time we've been at this 1 degree mark, and if I can offer you anything, if you're going to have this experience for yourself too, is to capture everything as it's coming in, because there is, and I've said this before, there's so much that came in for me each time we're at this 1 degree mark, that if I couldn't do anything about most of it. It was merely like writing it down. Although I will say that both of these transits, this retrograde, Act 5, and the direct motion of Act 6, we were in it a little bit longer this time, and so I felt like I had a little bit more time to work with what was coming through. During this time, my astral channeling really started coming in, so channeling from the cosmos. That was really fascinating because it wasn't something that I had any idea that was going to come in, and I see now, like, me saying this absolutely today, some of how that's going to come through in the future, and I do want to share that when I get to the next act. But this was very unexpected and had to land in me and required a lot of practice. So the last August till now, I've been doing a lot of practicing with this different type of channeling, because as I've shared in other videos, I've already been channeling my higher self. I've been channeling Mother Earth for quite some time in the land. And so this, and being able to connect to source as well, so the divine spirit, the divine creator, he's more out there and not down here on this 3D plane. These channelings have started to come in. I would say that there's a piece around my values and my Venus that has really expanded and really deepening into this family, partnership, community, and like smaller community, not like a massively out there community, but who I'm seeing in the everyday, or at least, once every couple of months. That as a value and in relationship has really come in, and how I am showing up and open and available for that community, for my family, and for my partner. has all really deepened in during this time. My example for that would be with all of those, I'm open and I'm available has been something I've been working on and working through my body. I have shared many times that I'm a projector, and I have 6 open centers in my human design chart. That means that I really flood in so much of other people's feelings and energy. It's not necessarily mine, but I'm absorbing it all. I have done so much work to be able to solidify what is mine and what's not mine. And that has allowed me to step into spaces where I'm serving or in community where I can be open and available. And I've noticed a massive shift in my own energy body and aura at this time, as well as how I'm projecting all of that out to others. I can tell you, in my past career, I would only be able to handle so much when I was out at public speaking events and I was up on the stage or at the podium and presenting. And when afterwards, it kind of almost like pulled myself back so that I did not have to interact with people, because it was so much energy and effort in being and serving in that large space. And so as I have shifted into this different service of still working in groups, doing that in person, I've really been able to change my own wiring and my own nervous system support to be able to be open and available for the community that I'm serving in a very different way, where it would have felt closed off even 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago. And now I'm able to be open and stay open and available for everyone that I'm in circle with, whether it's a space I'm holding or I'm attending somebody else's. Things have shifted so much, and I really love that showing up as my Venus. In my Chiron, what really started showing up as those wounds, those old ancestral wounds, is I was finally able to go back to this hereditary alpha tryptosemia that I've talked about in the past, that I was diagnosed with a year ago. I was finally ready to tackle some of what that meant for me and my body, or anybody who has this, which is avoiding histamines. I was not ready before then. I was working on my heart and I was really doing other things, and that was like, wow, this is a lot to do all of these changes to my diet and my everyday, which P.S. my Sun and my Venus are also in my 6th house, which is your everyday work in the world, your everyday routines, service, what those regular routines look like. So again, perfect that this is all landing during this time. But I really was able to go in and say, okay, let me start to address this part of the health issues that I'm going to have for the rest of my life, and that I've always had, but I now just understand. So that feels good. That I'm still learning a lot. I'm still integrating a lot of that knowledge, but it's underway, and it's solidly underway. And by being seen, I have really become more open about talking about my true intuitive gifts, my channeling abilities, and not being scared or holding those old ancestral wounds that understandably many of us had, not feeling safe and secure and able to hold my full self and being seen for that. I would say that was what August through October, the middle of October, looked like. During this time, retrograde period of August 20th to October 14th, I did go to Idlewild with my husband. Definitely, we were doing further preparations for 2026 and projects, but it was a very much a deepening, daily drumming, channeling, recording a YouTube videos. There was a couple that we recorded during that time, all on the land. And so really having that integrated both on the land and in my body. And so those things that were coming up and being able to practice them more. This last act 6, so the 14th of October to a couple days from now, because it's December 2nd as I'm recording this, December 5th, we are in forward motion, and wow, did I get a massive amount of clarity in so many ways, and evolving clarity that was happening during this time. So going back to my identity, to be able to be seen and serve as a channel. I've done that multiple times in public groups now, where I am in circle offering live channeled meditations that are just coming through from this astral source, my galactic light council, and being seen for that, and being able to serve as a conduit in that way. So both my Mars and my Sun showing up that way. During all this time, and I would say with the values piece and the Venus, my deepening of my spiritual beliefs has massively shifted as well. Specifically, I feel like so much of the work and the transformation that I've been doing has been so embodied for the last 8.5 years, where it's on this physical plane of Earth. It is in my physical body, and certainly energy work as well. But now that I'm opening in this different direction too, of this spirit realm, which I've been doing, but now it's like crystallized more about the soul work and the soul experience and the soul evolution. My understanding and beliefs have really come into like fullness. During this forward motion, also started channeling for myself for guidance. So I've worked with Idlewild. I have worked with the Galactic Light Council. I have worked with my higher self, giving me channeled guidance for my own life. And it's come through during Embody Your Frequency sessions as well, for individuals that I'm working with, that are giving them more clarity on their path forward, for my higher self connecting to their higher self. So really that wisdom is all their own, and it's not me projecting on them, but it's me being able to tap in and connect to and be a channel for their higher self during those sessions. I have also been able to see how, as I was explaining with the embodiment and the spiritual beliefs, being able to pull those together and getting such clarity from the Galactic Light Council of me and the people that I work with and serve, being conduits between the 3D world and the astral, the earth and the cosmos, the feminine and the masculine, our spirit and our bodies. And it's coming even more and more into form of how this is going to end up playing out in my long-term service in the world as a priestess, holding all of these things together for community, for us all to be able to walk together in this earthly experience as humans, while also being our cosmic selves and our souls. Really excited for what literally came through in the last couple of days of creating a temple at Idlewild, and being able to do online and in person, like regular ritual, where we're following the earth cycles as well as these astrological cycles. So bringing together rituals and those transits to how they come together and how they're like brought together and like woven together in our human experience right now with each other. I'm really excited to see how that's all going to end up playing out without me worrying about it too much, because I keep getting served all of this information because I'm open and wanting to serve in alignment with the highest good and the highest joy of all of everything. And continuing to be in that place, continuing to do my work, my clearing out, because things are still showing up. We just had an event recently where I was expanding, group audience expanding, doing things in a different sort of a way, and this expansion was happening. So I was hitting, during this last act, this last forward act of Pluto at 1 degree Aquarius, I was hitting some current comfort levels, and I was like, okay, I'm a little nervous, I feel a little bit of discomfort, and what are all the tools that I have that I've already worked on that I can use to just allow myself to be in the discomfort but also move past it. And so I used embodiment tools, I used mindset rewiring tools as well. It was amazing. We got there, and I was so glad that, I was able to still see that. And that has to, the deeper we're serving, the more we have to be so committed to continuously seeing and working with the shadows or the discomfort or the unseen things that are showing up. During this time, also had a past life experience where I was like, wow, yeah, I noticed that I was getting triggered, viscerally triggered around talking, other people writing and talking about certain events, and then it came in almost in a liminal space of like giving me a graphic picture of me and a past life version of me and my experience with that thing that was bothering me. I had to do the same thing. It's like working through that, like, how do I meet it? How do I release the bad feelings, but also be able to integrate that as part of me and see that as part of me, and not being ashamed or worried or wanting to shove it back down because I wasn't ready or just didn't want to. It was this whole transit has been all about transformation. What else is coming up? What else is coming up? Can I hold it? Can I love it? Can I see it and allow it? Isn't that what being human is? What our experience as our souls in this lifetime is? Meeting these hurts, these shadows, and being able to move through them, with them, maybe alchemize or transmute them, but sometimes not. Like the Chiron pieces in my chart, my heart issues, my hereditary alpha tryptosemia, they're with me. They're with me for this lifetime. I have been trying to work through as many of my tools as I can, and these, I think, are just part of what I'm supposed to be carrying with me, that are supposed to be reminding me to treat my body as the sacred temple so that I can serve the way I want to serve. I am not healthy. I can't serve like that. And I believe that in this case, it's a real reminder and an example for other people to be able to see of how do we work with these wounds that we were born with, that we brought into this life. Some, I think, that we are able to transmute and alchemize our chirons, and some aren't meant to do that. And that's okay. I really would love to hear about any transformation you're experiencing, any of your own aspects of what degrees in those fixed signs or in Aquarius that you have planets. Would love to see those down in the comments, so please share them. There'll be links in the description around ways that you can be supported in any of that if you need it. And yeah, I just really hope that I get to see you again and see you in one of these deeper, more meaningful ways. And if it's only going to be on YouTube, that's beautiful and wonderful too. And I hope that this is serving you so much. I will be back with one more episode. I'm going to record this in February, so probably later February after the February retreat, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and after we're into 3 degrees Aquarius, so it's a couple of degrees away, and so I have more time to integrate all that's even just come through in this last little bit of time, like the last couple of days with this temple work. I know by then I will be able to speak much more differently about it. There'll be some other pieces that I know will land as well. I didn't even say this with my heart. I finally started taking medication during this last couple of weeks where I'm like, okay, I've been trying all these different tools. The blood work is coming back a little bit better, but not really. And I want to live a long, healthy life if I have anything to say about it. And so I'm going to say yes to modern medicine for those pieces and do my more witchy, herbal, integrative things for everything else that I can impact in that way. So I can be here and serve the way I believe I'm supposed to serve in this lifetime. I still have a lot of years of service left to go, and I am grateful for each one of you for tuning in, and I really appreciate your likes, your subscribes, comments, and any other shares. If you know people who are going to have this experience in their own birth charts or experiencing transformation, I'm really talking about that arc during this whole series, and will land in the integration place. Like I said, in a few months, I'll be recording that, and it'll be the last piece of this series. I am sending you so much love and appreciation for being here. I will see you again soon.